Welcome to the Carousel. I am John.
Hi, John.
Hello, John.
Sorry. Welcome to the... Okay.
What's happening?
So, I completely fucked up the sound. I apologize. Let's start that again. Welcome to the Carousel. I am John. Also Musum. With me, I have Jake.
It's football season.
It is. It is.
And I have Randy.
Yes, you do. That's me.
That's Chiefs country down there, yeah?
Cowboys mostly, but some Chiefs.
A bunch of bandwagon motherfuckers from the 90s. Sorry, go ahead.
I'm right there with you, dude. I'm right there with you.
Oh, man. So, if you have not listened to the Carousel before, we like to talk about comics, movies, and video games, although we don't really seem to actually talk about comics all that much. And we just kind of blab.
We talk about them tangentially. You know, they are a vector.
Yeah.
That makes its way into the TV shows and movies that we talk. Christ, we had a 90-minute Batman episode a month ago.
No, yeah.
We get there. We get there.
Yeah. So, we always like starting out with news. So let's go ahead and start doing that.
Yay.
So releases. We meet every 2 weeks. So we're gonna look at releases up through 9/15. So video game wise, September 8th we get Phoenix Wright, Ace Attorney: Spirit of Justice on the 3DS.
Okay.
You probably know by now if you want to play the Phoenix Wright games. If you somehow don't know what Phoenix Wright is, it's a wonderful puzzle visual novel game about a anime lawyer in the future. So,
I feel like I would really like a 3DS if I had any time where it made sense to use it. Because I drive. You know, for my commute, I don't ride a bus or a train or anything, so there goes that time. It's not like I'm going to bring it to work and play it on my breaks, and so if I just leave it at home, I got the big TV and the PC with 2 screens, and I would never touch it, and that bums me out, because there's some cool stuff on that system, and Phoenix Wright is one of the examples that... I think I got one from GameFly or something forever ago for my regular DS, and I really liked it, but I'm never going to play any of these enough to justify buying games, so...
Well, I know the first couple of Phoenix Wright games are out for iOS as well, and they probably released them on Android too, but I don't know that factually, so there are other options, if you're actually curious. But they probably cost more than you probably want to pay on one of those devices.
I was going to say, I was looking at that super fucked up Final Fantasy pinball thing that came out. Did you hear about this?
Final Fantasy Pinball.
It's like there's a pinball machine they come across in Final Fantasy 15 or something.
Oh yeah, I got an email about that. I keep forgetting that's what that is. It's a Final Fantasy 15.
Yeah, I'm hoping this won't make all the noise when I'm loading it up here.
It's a metagame.
It's like Justice Monsters 5 or something like that. It's totally goofy and super fucking weird. But anyway, as I was looking for that, because if you put in Final Fantasy, this doesn't pop up. So as I was searching for that, I saw all the Final Fantasy games they still have on the App Store, and it's like, guys, nobody's paying $22 for these games to play on their phone. Are you out of your fucking mind?
Yeah. Square overcharges a lot. I don't remember how Capcom does on it. Capcom runs the Phoenix Wright stuff, so you at least have that going for you. Square, I mean, every time I go to, think, I should buy Chrono Trigger for my phone, I look at it at $10, I'm like, I'll just grab my DS version. I don't really need it that bad.
Well, Capcom probably sells it for $3, but then they release a new version every 4 months, and you have to rebuy it, probably. So that probably break even. They come out as a wash.
Yeah, that's true. So then we're going to move to September 15th, which I have dubbed Re-Release Tuesday, where you can buy the BioShock collection for PS4, Xbox One, and PC. The Dead Rising triple pack for PS4 and Xbox One. I double-checked the PS4 thing, too, because I thought that was bullshit, and I guess it's not.
Why? Because the 3 wasn't 3 boner exclusive?
Yeah, I think the only one
Okay.
that came to the PlayStation was 2. And then The Witness is being released for Xbox One at long last. And our one new game we're getting is Recore on the PC and Xbox One. That's the Metroid Prime guys game about the girl and her robot core that she, penetrates into other robots.
Is that I could be way off on this because I haven't. When I heard about it, it wasn't really, up my alley, so to speak. So I didn't look into it a ton. But isn't that kind of like a puzzle platformer deal? Where you switch out cores to get abilities or something?
Yeah, I think I haven't really watched videos of it. Like honestly, it didn't capture my heart or imagination like it did everyone else with that first CGI trailer.
Welcome to the carousel for all your gaming news speculation
Yeah.
for stuff that's already available.
Like I'm remote. Like it's a game that I want to read the multiple reviews on and kind of see what people think and see if anyone can sell me on it. But I don't know. I'm glad people are excited about it, which is also part of the reason I put it on here. But movie-wise, we have the critically acclaimed Kevin Smith releasing just an indie darling named Yoga Hosers.
Oh God!
Starring his daughter, Harley Smith, and Johnny Depp's daughter, whose name I don't remember.
It's like 3 names with a hyphenate and a Zoe in there or something. Yeah.
Yep. This is
Boy, I looked at that trailer. That is a goddamn mess. Wow.
It looks so awful. I feel so bad. Like I was reading a thing with Kevin Smith where he was talking. I guess kind of what started this was their daughters are just really good friends, and when he was doing the Moose movie, was it the Moose
Nope.
movie? It was
Moose Jaws is coming up
okay.
later. He did Tusk.
Okay, so then when he
Which-
was doing Tusk, evidently they played to, like he got really stoned and emailed Johnny Depp and was like, "Hey, why doesn't your daughter be in this movie too?" And they can do this, and he talked Johnny Depp into being in the movie, and
It's not an awful movie. Tusk. I mean, it's not awful. It's not great. There's some fun pieces in it. Michael Parks is fun. And
looks
it's
awful.
self-indulgent. What's that?
I said it looks awful.
It's mostly awful, but it's not like you could do worse if you're bored on a Saturday afternoon and just want to have something on. You could probably do worse than Tusk. It's not great. It's okay. It's just short of being okay. This one, and not to say anything about either the girls, the actors. Boy, this is just it's a fucking mess. I don't even. It looks maybe it's just a bad trailer, but it looks like it's just a one-off. A bunch of jokes that he either snipped out of his podcast or found written down somewhere and just went, I'm just gonna put all these in a movie whether they make sense or not. Oh fuck,
Yeah.
gross. Nope.
I don't know. I feel bad. Like, I bet that's awesome for those teenagers to get their first movie, but it's not going to be awesome if they have the whole world talking shit about them on the internet.
Well, it is a 24 on Rotten Tomatoes right now.
Jeez. Well,
24.
I mean, okay. Let's be real. Are any of Kevin Smith's movies doing good on Rotten Tomatoes?
I don't know. I don't generally look them up, but it was part of that's where I went for the trailer. So,
Oh, okay.
boy, I guess we'll see.
So, and Civil War comes out on Blu-ray on Tuesday, or on the 13th. That Tuesday.
Is that gonna have the Thor short that you tweeted about what he was doing during Civil War?
I don't know. I heard it was supposed to have some sort of behind-the-scenes thing on Thor. I don't know if it'll have that wonderful mockumentary. If you haven't seen that mockumentary, we linked it on our Twitter.
It's great.
It's it's what was Thor doing during Civil War, and
Now, why?
Hmm?
Why was he actually not in Civil War? Was it just like we can't
Sure,
put
he
a
was-
god in this because it's going to kill the story, or he was doing other stuff, or what was that?
They haven't. Yeah, they haven't told us. Like at the end of Age of Ultron, he he has a vision mid-movie. He's like, "Oh shit, I got to go back to Asgard."
Uh-oh.
So at the end of the movie, that's what he did. Is he went back to Asgard.
He hasn't been in any of the Cat movies, has he?
No, but I mean, like there are 3
He's just
Cap
been in the Avengers
movies.
films in his own.
Yeah.
Right, but like Iron Man crosses over, and Cap crosses over. There's
Well,
a whole lot of that, but Thor doesn't really.
Well, I mean,
I'm
Hulk's
sorry,
gonna
my
be
internet froze for a second. You guys are okay. You're unfrozen. Sorry. Carry on.
Hey.
Okay.
No, I was just like Thor doesn't seem to cross over as much as the other heroes do into the films.
I guess that is true.
Well, it's probably because like throwing him in a movie is kind of like throwing Hulk in a movie. Like once he's on the field, what does anybody get to do? Because he's just unstoppable.
Well, I heard he has. I heard there's some sort of Thor thing that happens in Doctor Strange. So,
Okay.
it's kind of weird. I actually heard
Maybe pop up.
that they hired the writer. What's his name? The guy from Community that does Rick and Morty. Michael Hammond.
I think, yeah, maybe.
Something Hammond. But they hired him to do some like rewrites on Thor Ragnarok. Or no, not Thor Ragnarok, on Doctor Strange. So I was kind of hoping
encouraging.
I was kind of hoping Doctor Strange would be our one serious Marvel movie. Like they would just have that Wi-Fi joke in it, and it would mostly be fairly serious. Other than that,
Yeah,
but
that Wi-Fi joke felt very out of place in that trailer. Like, I don't know that I'm going to love that movie, and I'm not super into the character, but I could be convinced. Like the Wi-Fi thing, like this does not seem like a story where you need levity. And I know Marvel's thing is, haha, it's all lighthearted, jokey, but I don't know, maybe it was just a bad joke. Who knows?
I would actually argue that I don't know. They've had a lot of scenes in their movies I don't think are lighthearted at all, but I know that's the overall tone of their universe. But also keep in mind they follow the trailer formula to a fucking T. They always end every single trailer they have. They'll do the title, they'll do the credits, then they'll do the joke. Like every single time. And all I can think of is one of these trailer dissections where they're like, oh, and then we tell a joke at the end so people don't think it's all drama. And it's...
I guess, and I don't know. If it's that and maybe one or two other things, okay, fine. That's about as much jokiness as I want in that movie.
Yeah. I don't know what we'll get. We'll find out. But, continuing on... PS4 Slim didn't get announced, but got reviewed.
Yeah, that's weird, huh?
So is it a legit thing that they're actually doing, or is this an internet hoax? Does anyone know?
The person that posted the review, and I've heard there are more now too, is Let's Play Video Games. They have pictures of it. It shows like the USB slots on the front, kind of separated out. It allegedly.
I mean, I guess it could be a hoax. I don't know why someone would go through all that effort. I mean, yeah, I guess maybe for views or whatever. It doesn't feel like a hoax.
People on the internet just try to play jokes all the time. I don't know. Is there any official word from Sony on it?
Well, no. Sony's been here's the Randy, if you haven't been keeping up the they've had a bunch of system shit leak over the last year that they just are not talking about. You got the PlayStation Neo, full spec list that hit a month or two before E3, and they're like, yeah, Neo's a thing, we're not going to talk about it yet. And then the Slim stuff has been talked about and rumored, and now it looks to be a thing, and might just... Honestly, I'm starting to suspect it's going to be on store shelves before they even acknowledge it.
Well, the thing is, as far as it... whether it's a hoax or not, something like when somebody mocked up that, here's the new Nintendo console and this is what it looks like, and it looked, exactly like the blueprints for the patent that they supposedly got. It was all too good to be true and out of nowhere. Something like this, you're a year and a half, 2 years, however long into the system's life. Now is when the next model comes out that's a little smaller, more energy efficient, or whatever.
Almost 3 years? Came out in fall 2013, right?
Damn, did it?
I think so.
I guess so. Yeah. Well,
it makes sense, and I mean it looks reasonable and it looks cool. And if mine dies, I suppose that's the one I'll get. I don't know.
I guess if it's a hoax, it's a really bland hoax.
Yeah.
You know?
The thing with the Slim they never did a Slim 3, did they?
Yeah. Well,
they did.
They didn't call it the. I don't remember what they called it.
I knew they
took
made
the
Slim
backwards
PS2s, but
they took the backwards compatibility out of it. And,
they did like 5 versions of the PS3. I mean,
really?
Yeah.
I didn't have one. This is the first PlayStation I've ever owned.
I mean, like the last PS3 they had like a freaking top-loading slot. I mean,
the original.
Like, yeah, I guess that's how it worked. I just remember reading about it.
As opposed to a Nintendo, where you just put the disc, the disc vertically into it. Yeah.
I don't know. Usually they come with some sort of like
a weird thing.
Slightly altered hardware where it's a little bit more stable. But this one is allegedly the exact same, just in a smaller case. So,
wasn't there? I thought I heard something about there being more USB slots. I don't know.
In the picture I saw, it just had 2 on the front. So,
okay.
Don't know.
What would you need more for?
I don't know.
I don't know, and that's what I'm thinking. I must be confusing it with something else. Because I don't know. Like, you're not plugging 5 controllers in. Like, I don't know.
Right, yeah.
We'll handle that next week on Jake is Full of Shit.
Sure.
Yeah, maybe it'll be a Jake and John are full of shit.
New segment.
Yeah.
The carousel is full of shit.
Shit carousel. It's just spinning around and lobbing shit everywhere.
Yes, nothing will be untouched. So there's I'm not super up on this news, but EVE Online is going to be free to play starting in November. I watched the video.
I thought it always was.
Oh, no, and that's why I thought this was notable, because the whole big thing there is, they were like the first game, and I think the only game for a while, that you could buy. Game time was a currency. So, like, you could use in-game currency to buy game time, and they were sort of one and the same. So, like, when you see those stories about, somebody gets their ship blown up, and it's like, hey, this was a $22,000 ship. That's what they're talking about. They're talking about all the Plex, which can be used for game time and on the auction house and stuff like that.
And then they convert that to whatever the game time is worth in dollars, and then they say... Right.
Yeah, and like I said, I've never played it. It looks like a spreadsheet simulator to me, so I've never played it.
I tried it, and I didn't like it very much. I felt it... the controls were super unintuitive, and... I don't know. I had trouble. I couldn't get into it. Anyway.
What's interesting about it to me, and I might... it's what they say is if you're not a premium member, you're an alpha clone or something like that. It all fits into the story and the world they've built. And if you are a paying subscriber, you're an Omega clone, and they have access to the full suite of abilities that are available to anyone today. And then the alphas have almost everything, it sounds like, but some key stuff that I think is sort of, bird's eye view level sort of management stuff that I would bet is really handy from the way they talk about it. But I don't know.
Yeah.
But what I wonder is what this is... and how they've worked it in with this whole Plex, currency, game time, all the same thing stuff. If you have free-to-play available, and I mean, I'm sure they've thought it all out, and I don't know if anything changes maybe, because it's all still out there. It's just that instead of being able to play, you're able to have this, upgraded, what's the word I'm looking for? Experience.
Yeah.
So maybe nothing changes, but... I don't know. It's interesting because they held out for so long.
They've been going a long time. Like
10 years probably?
At least probably close to that, at least since 2008.
They've been kicking around a long time.
Yeah.
So I thought that was interesting.
And they're still going. It's basically just them and WoW. Those are the only 2 left.
WoW.
That might be coming up later.
WoW's free to play to like level 20 or something.
20 or 40. Either way, it's about 2 hours of game time is what it comes down to. But I'll get to that later. Oh, God. Initial release date for EVE, May 6, 2003.
Oh,
Jesus.
Man.
Wow.
That's older than any of them.
Man. People
Wow.
also search for No Man's Sky.
So,
Anyway,
PlayStation Plus releases for the month of September.
yes, other stuff that you can play instead of No Man's Sky on your PS4.
Sure.
I'm glad I didn't get it.
How are you?
Yeah.
Did the reviews?
Apparently it's not very good. I don't know.
It's
That's all the reviews say is bad. I don't know. That doesn't mean it is bad.
I've read some good reviews on it, but kind of my takeaway from it is I want to pay about $20 for it. But
That's kind of been the thing. Is it was not necessarily maliciously misrepresented, but what they were trying to do isn't necessarily what they were able to end up doing, and it just everyone hyped it out of their brains, and Sony didn't help by letting this be a $60 game, and it was just a confluence of bad things, and so people were expecting too much.
It was like indie developed, wasn't it?
yeah,
It's like
It's
four
like the
guys.
biggest-
yeah. Well,
Probably one of the most high-profile indie games, maybe ever.
I don't know.
At least pre-release.
I'll if I can afford it during a Christmas sale, I might pick it up. But realistically, enough shit comes out between January and March of 2017 that I'm probably not going to have time for anything else.
Yeah.
Anyway, so the PlayStation 4 game, so Lords of the Fallen is one of our PS Plus games for PS4. It's
Okay.
supposed to be like Dark Souls, is what I've heard.
It is. I have it on Steam.
I have it
it's,
on Xbox One because I got it with Games with Gold a long time ago.
Okay. It's a little bit more fluid than Dark Souls is. It's not as sort of deliberate, but it's still definitely got that feel, and they definitely took a lot of cues from Dark Souls. There's some kind of cool magic shit. I'll pick it up every 2 months, play it for 45 minutes, go, oh, right, yeah, and that kind of scratches that itch, and I put it back down. But if you've already got PS Plus and you like Dark Souls, fuck yeah, try it out. It's cool.
So, Journey, PS3 and PS4 is included. I don't think we need to talk about Journey Extended, do we?
I've never played it. This is going to be my first chance.
Oh, wow. It seems... It's such a good game, which means you're going to hate it. We'll see. It's only 2 hours, so it can't, hopefully, upset you that much in that time. Prince of Persia, Forgotten Sands for PS3. Is this the... that's not the reboot on PS3, right? It's a different one, isn't it?
I actually thought I knew what this was until you read it out loud, and then I went, that's not the game I thought it was. Prince of Persia, Forgotten Sands. Now, just to go while I'm looking this stuff up, I know for games with gold on Xbox, all the Xbox 360 games they're offering now are all going to be playable on Xbox One. That's not the case with PS4 here, is it?
No.
Okay.
No way. No.
So you got to have the PS3 still plugged in then.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, it takes place between, story-wise, between Sands of Time and Warrior Within.
Oh, okay. So this is the one where I believe Yahtzee described it as when he started listening to Linkin Park.
Okay.
Okay. So then Datura for PS3, Badland for Vita, PS4, and PS3.
It looks fun enough.
I've always been curious about Badland. I think they already gave it away on one of the platforms before, but I could be wrong.
It looks a lot like VVV.
Oh,
and that you don't seem to control the character, and I was just watching some videos. You don't seem to control the character as much as you basically control gravity, and kind of that's how you jump. You just reverse gravity from going up to going down and back and forth.
Gotcha.
Oh, looks fun.
And then Amnesia Memories for Vita. I have no idea what that is.
Awful title.
I mean, I assume it's not related to Amnesia: The Dark Descent.
For Vita, I sincerely doubt it.
I don't know.
The Dark Descent, Amnesia, horror jump scare games are not play on the go type things generally.
Oh, this is a visual novel. Okay. So I will wait for Boston Mina to tell me how it is.
Okay.
I'm really not a big visual novel person anyway. So, and then for games with gold for September. So even though with Xbox, like kudos on them for releasing things that you can all play on their current platform, but also fuck them for doing this obscure release date bullshit with it. So Earthlock for Xbox One, you'll get all month. Assassin's Creed China for Xbox One, you can get from September 16th through October 15th. Forza Horizon for 360, you can get from the 1st to the 15th. And then Mirror's Edge for the 360, you can get from the 16th to the 30th.
Great! That's exactly what I'm looking for in a service like this. But all joking aside, I'm seriously considering restarting my Gold account, because it's been dead for 4 or 5 months. I don't think I've turned my Xbox One on in 4 months, and my PS4 is basically a Netflix machine at this point. But everyone who's played Forza Horizon loves Forza Horizon. So I might have to pick it up just to try that out and see what the fuss is all about. Because I'm not a huge racing game guy. I'd much rather play something like Blur than something like Gran Turismo. But for as much as people rave about it, I think so, maybe.
Yeah, I haven't played the first one either. I got the third one on pre-order, so I'm kind of thinking about... Like, I was going to wait till the end of the month to rejoin Xbox Gold. So I guess technically I don't have Lords of the Fallen on Xbox Gold anymore, now that I think about it. But...
Yeah. It's there. It's just in torpor. It's slumbering. It's sleeping.
Yeah. So anyway, I've been curious about Forza 1. I really love Forza 2. I'm pretty excited for Forza 3. It's just a great stress relieving game for me. But we will find out. Anyway, so I'm a bit divided on this next opinion. I'm actually not divided on it at all. I just wanted,
oh God!
I know. I wanted a segue. I was tagging up on your awful segue. Deus, oh God! Oh!
Boom!
Feeding the machine.
Tell me about robot hands.
So, Deus Ex: Mankind Divided. I've been debating about how to talk about this game because I could give you kind of a feature list and kind of what I think about it, but I think it might be more beneficial for me just to talk about some of my experiences in the game.
That sounds much more valuable. I want you to do that.
So I'm going to spoil one side quest, and I'm going to spoil... oh shit. I just forgot what the other thing I was going to talk about was. Well, I'll remember it in a minute. So I'm wandering around Prague, right? The whole game takes place in Prague except for the intro. And the environments are pretty big, but there's kind of people everywhere and cars everywhere, and it's Are we talking Hitman levels of cars everywhere, or are we talking Fallout 4 levels of cars everywhere? Well, the car I haven't played Hitman.
There's a ton of people on screen at any given time.
Yeah, there's at least 20 people on screen in Deus Ex. Cars, okay. They're all parked. They aren't moving around.
But we're not talking like Fallout considers a bustling city to be like 6 residents.
This is
okay.
Like one area has 2 apartment complexes. Each apartment complex has like 8 apartments in it that you can break into. Which is really how I've spent most of my time in the game. So
you're a second story robot?
Yeah, pretty much. I've been Batman. I've just been beating up poor people and taking their shit. Wandering around Deus Ex, I was doing another side quest when I was in the sewers and overheard these 2 people talking in the sewers because I guess for some reason Augs like to hide out in the sewers.
Okay.
There's lots of Aug prejudice going on, so they're probably just kind of trying not to get sent to Gollum City, which is where they send Augs who won't follow their separatist rules. Actually, now I remember the other thing I wanted to talk about first on this was, in the game you get from one environment to the next via the subway, right? So the first time you take it on it, you kind of follow the idiot line to it, and then I thought, I'm just going to take this back and do this, and I used a different car, and then when I get off of it, a cop stops me. He's like, hey, what the fuck are you doing? Let me see your permits. I'm like, okay. I don't know what the hell's going on here. He says, one, he was surprised that I had valid permits. Two, he was surprised at the level of them. But then he started to lecture me. He's like, look, I understand you're permitted, but you have to get on the right side of the fucking train for AUGs. You can't get on the natural section. You have to follow the rules just like everyone else. I'm like, they have fucking segregation in this game.
Okay, so we're talking Rosa Parks.
Yeah.
Right side of the train type thing. Okay.
Yeah, like your character, Adam Jensen, is not used to it either. So it's kind of like he doesn't know what the fuck's going on either. But like after that was pointed out, I just started noticing all these signs everywhere in the subway that pointed towards like naturals and then AUGs. Like,
how did they handle that? Like how do they? You know, the last couple of years been a little rough here in America, and it sounds like they've sort of tried to. Not tag up is not the right word, and homage is not the right word, but sort of, kind of, you know, every piece of media is a product of the times in which it's created, so it seems like some of that stuff has seeped into this game, and I'm wondering the level of tact that they've handled that with.
Well, I'm not a apartheid survivor, you might be surprised to know. My assumption is whenever, at some point in the game, since they've talked about Gollum City kind of in the shadows kind of thing, I assume at some point I'm going to get sent there. And I assume Gollum City is going to be kind of your apartheid, you know, rundown slums area.
How do they spell the city which is the capital of apartheid?
Gollum, Golem, I think.
EM. Oh, Golem, like the... Okay.
Golem.
Alright, that's way better, because I'm like, did they seriously... Okay.
No. Like
I can live with that.
Like the ethnic slur for the augmented in the game is Clank, and you get people fucking calling you Clank left and right. Like,
as someone who's in the majority, as far as, you know, the culture I live in, like, I'm a white male. Like, I don't... you know, I've probably never been called anything that's, you know, remotely racially charged at all. I wonder, like, to me, hearing, like, oh, those damn clanks, like, that sounds like a really cool term that they came up with. But I wonder if I had ever been called a hateful word, if I might not think that was so cool.
Yeah, it doesn't... You don't feel cool when people call you it. Like, when I was... After that train ride, like, they show you on the train, like, kind of, I don't know, GTA style or something, where you hop on something and it's just your character kind of sitting there for a minute. Yeah. And there was this lady with her kid, and she was just fucking staring daggers at me. I'm like, what the fuck is this bitch's problem? Jesus Christ. Then I get off the train, I find out, oh, I see. My bad for having a mostly, like, replaced body. You know, it's not like...
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Next time I get...
ask this person what the fuck her problem is.
Yeah. Next time I get shot in the head and get all my limbs torn off, I'll, well, I guess that probably won't happen again. But anyway, honestly, I thought a lot of the reaction to them trying to make commentary on that, on modern events for white people kind of thing, like, that's how I interpreted it. Like, that's why you take a white person and make them a minority, is to get your white audience to start sympathizing with minorities in real life. Like, to me, that's the entire artistic reason for it. So I don't, like, none of that stuff, the AUG Lives Matter and the apartheid stuff, bothered me at all. But, you know, I am a white male, so maybe I'm just being insensitive.
Yeah, I wonder how it would feel to have, like, something like that just appropriated for entertainment if you had gone through it. So I don't know. It sounds like to your average person they didn't handle it super clumsily. So I guess that's all we could ask.
You know, every cop hates me in the game. Like, I don't. You are asked about, like, your first hour of the game is fucking handing cops fucking permits. Jesus Christ.
You have to, like, dig through your inventory slots for the right permits.
Luckily, they don't.
you have to do inventory Tetris, and it's just permits, permits.
Just papers, IDs.
Yeah. Luckily, they don't do that to you. They just automatically make it happen. I assume at some point that'll be taken away from me. But I don't know. I've read a lot of reviews and heard reviews how like the game doesn't take a side and this and this and that, and I'm like, well, I don't. I would think a good piece of art talking about modern times wouldn't necessarily take a side because they would want to kind of make you think about it.
Like good art takes a side, doesn't it?
There's a way to do it and not take a side.
That's kind of a bigger discussion, but
yeah, like I guess I feel like a piece of art that like if you take a side, then you're losing part of your audience, and I don't mean that in you're losing dollars. I mean that as in those people are going to be closed-minded to what you're saying. But if you present an open situation where you represent the different sides, then you at least run a chance of someone seeing aspects of the other side that they may not have before.
Yeah, it'll be interesting. Another one I just brought up in chat. Girl-Centric was saying that she's got some folks on Twitter that weren't super happy about all that stuff being in the game. And I brought up that Mafia 3 is gonna, boy, they got their work cut out for them because
yeah,
it sounds like they're gonna be using the N-word a lot.
Austin Walker on Vice Gaming, I thought, wrote a good article about the Mafia 3 stuff, but
that's what made me think about all this. Yeah, go check out. It was probably a couple months ago, maybe, but it's not super far back because they don't put out articles on Vice Gaming like Kotaku does, where it's 30 a day. So you'll find it pretty easy. Austin Walker wrote an article about Mafia 3 and his experiences as a black guy playing that demo, and it was just, God, I love him. He's so just, God, he's great.
Well, if it makes anyone feel any better, like I've been playing the game for probably a dozen hours. I haven't really advanced the main story, but I have not seen one single All Lives Matter sign in it. Maybe I just haven't been looking. I don't know. But and honestly, let's be honest on the Black Lives Matter thing. Like, if someone's going to be sore about someone else using the name with all the asinine shit that's been thrown on at them with the All Lives Matter and the Blue Lives Matter and like all the other shit, is just kind of like,
yeah, this probably isn't the one that's going to tip you.
Yeah, like it's, to them, it's probably just, oh great, some other asshole's going to fucking dogpile on us,
Yeah, could be.
But I think you're a minority in this game. Well, I say that. There's a lot of Augs in this game, so maybe you're not you're at least enough of a minority that your fucking rights are getting taken away. But
well, you're a second-class citizen, is what it sounds like.
Absolutely. And this is Prague only, and they're like part of the story of the game is that laws that are similar to what's happening in Prague are in danger of becoming national, kind of thing. I suspect that I always want to call him J.C. Denton. That's not J.C. Denton. It's Adam Jensen. I suspect Adam Jensen's storyline will not affect that aspect of the game, but I could be wrong. So anyway, let me tell you about the side mission and spoil you on.
Oh yeah, sorry, I derailed you a little bit there.
No problem. So I was running some other mission, and there's two people talking in the sewers, and they mentioned some weird other spot where some weird cult or something was going on, and it gave me a point of interest on my map. So I walk over.
You're just walking by him, and you overhear their conversation, and you hear the word cult, and you just stop and go, "Cult? Tell me more about this cult, friends."
Pretty much. I pulled a Mass Effect 3 and just was like, So I walk over to this point of interest in the sewers, and I couldn't immediately go to it because I needed, I can't remember. There's something in my way that I need another upgrade point for, so I came back in a little bit and went down there, and there was this crazy guy standing outside a door and started talking about how when you walk into this room, you're not you, and there's this guy who's controlling everyone and manipulating everyone, and you got to remind him that he's him. And so anyway, he lets you into this room, and your vision's immediately kind of highlighted, and you're basically the guy tells you that he's not going to allow violence in here, so you can't actually do any violence. You walk up to this podium, like everyone in there is labeled Lost Soul, and you walk up to this podium, and it's kind of Wizard of Oz style. There's a giant screen with this guy talking at you. Sorry, I keep looking at chat. Like throughout your conversation with the guy, like normally when you're in a conversation, if you have the conversation og, it will give you pertinent information about the character. And this one, your information displayed said that this guy was magnanimous and he was great and virtuous and you'd never want to disagree with him. Yeah.
Okay.
And basically every time you try and disagree with him, you forget what you're talking about and things are paused around. So basically...
Do they change the interface to mess with you like that? Or does it just like you pick this and then when Adam goes to say it, he mumbles it or fucks it up or something? Or do they actually like screw with the UI?
They only screw with the UI in terms of his information that's displayed, because that's obviously him hacking you, right?
I like that. That's what I was asking. I like that.
Yeah, the conversation parts. I should also commend this game because when you highlight an option that you want to say, it will show you everything that you're going to say. That shouldn't have to be something I commend the game for, but here we fucking are.
This is unprecedented.
Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, so he basically gets tired of me trying to disagree with him, and is like, "Yeah, I don't think we need to hear any more from you, and then you can't talk into the mic anymore." So. So I start wandering around the area, and I find a poster, and it turns out he's like some hypnotist and has a buddy. And at that point, the game gave me a secondary objective, but I guess I wasn't.
Is he a hypnotist just for Augs? Like, he's a Chipnotist, or can he do this to real natural people too?
My understanding is it's Augs only.
Okay.
And they explain that here in a little bit, but I didn't. My first path through this scenario was not explained on it because I was like it gave me the secondary objective basically to go meet his hypnotist partner, and I don't know. I wasn't paying attention. I didn't see it, so I just went upstairs where he had a bunch of turrets stationed and snuck around the turrets and found a locked door with a level 5 security thing, and instead of trying to hack it, because the hacking's kind of fucking hard in this game, and level 5 is the hardest, I just broke out not a multimeter, a multi-tool?
Your Omni-Gel?
Yeah. So I broke out one of those and just immediately hacked the thing. Walked in, the guy starts shooting me, so I just pulled out my stun thing, knock him out, take all his shit, and leave. And then I'd start thinking, I wonder if that could have gone a different way. That seems kind of weird. So I look it up online, and it says to go meet his partner. I'm like, what? And I reload my game and see that objective, and... what I do then is go to another part of town, meet his partner, who's a real nice guy and was excited to find out his friend was alive. But through talking with him, he's like, wow, that doesn't sound like my friend at all, but here, take these blockers. And then you go back in, you place these blockers around, and now he can't shut you up when you talk to him in the mic. And you are getting the correct display on him, which describes him as a narcissist and a couple other things I can't remember. And through conversation,
cool.
You can actually just make him feel really bad, where he will just stop doing it and just sits in his room and literally cries. The people when they wake up, are like the difference in their waking up, and like if you like the first scenario when they woke up, they were all just freaking out. They're like, "Where the fuck are we? We're in a sewer. What the hell is going on?" The second time I did it, where everything was blocked and I kind of brought out the truth through conversation, they were eased into it. So they were like kind of aware of what was happening to them. What was explained that he was doing to the audience, to answer your previous question, was him and this other hypnotist basically figured out this AUG deal where everyone could join this virtual reality and just kind of use their imagination to form a really cool, beautiful reality. So this guy's like, look, these people are rejects. We're just going to live in the sewer and live in this virtual world this whole time. But he started doing it against their will, so... But that's one side story, one that I could have completely missed that I don't think will affect the rest of the game at all.
Did you receive different and I'm kind of hoping the answer is no. Did you receive like any different types of rewards from solving it either way, or is it just like you get your 400 experience or whatever, and it's just that that's the character you're developing as a player?
I did get more experience for doing it the talk 'em out of it way. I'm not sure how much more experience that was. You get experience kind of for everything in this game, so I don't think there was what I remember is that when I talked him down, I got like an extra 750 points of experience, which I guess is a lot, but I suspect it isn't. And that was just like I guess for completing that secondary objective. But I don't. Part of me did want to just go through my first take on it and just leave, because I still got everyone's shit. I still took his sellable things and his credit chips and his battle rifle and left both ways. It's just one, he was knocked the fuck out, which was gratifying, and the other, he was crying.
He was emotionally knocked out.
Yeah. But I'm really liking Deus Ex. It's not a game that I'm frothing at the mouth to play with. I should also mention I'm playing it on PS4. I wasn't confident enough in my computer to run it. I think this is a game that you probably should play on your computer. The PS4 saves quickly, but it doesn't load quickly, and this is a game that you want to save and load a lot. Luckily, a lot of things, if you mess up on hacking, you probably can just wait for the timer to go back down and try again in most cases, so they at least give you some forgiveness. But there are other things like an
alarm timer?
Yeah.
Okay.
There are other things where if you go to do a takedown, like a physical takedown on someone, it'll go to black and then show him taking it down and then go black again. Then you'll be back in first person. I was on the Tiltcast the other week, and they told me, part of me wonders, well, I don't know. I haven't seen it with my own eyes, but from what they told me is the PC version doesn't do that, which I think would be appealing. But it's not a typical Deus Ex game that you're not sightseeing around the world, but Prague is detailed nearly to an open world game standpoint, which I think is just as gratifying for someone like me who likes open world shit anyway.
Yeah.
Every single place I've been, people saying that there's at least 2 ways to do everything is 100% accurate.
Because that was not the way in the first Deus Ex of Last Generation or whatever.
Yeah.
It was one of the Game Club casts over at TVGP, and I had to quit playing it once I got to the first boss, because I was playing super stealthy knock people out guy, and this boss has miniguns and rocket launchers and stuff, and there's kind of just no way to not shoot him to death. And I went, all right, well, I spent 90 minutes on this. I guess this is the end of the game for me.
Well, and I don't know. That first training mission they send you through, you do got to spend a lot of time knocking dudes out. That mission's... I think all Deus Ex games have an issue with their first mission. A lot of people like to talk praise about them. I don't. I'm not going to say the Statue of Liberty mission was bad, but let's be honest, it could have been better. The intro to this game could have been a little bit better, I think. I know they want to introduce you to all the different mechanics and approaches you can take, but I kind of wish they would just skip that part and just put you in an easy, smaller area at first. Because your first area of Prague you go in is about the normal size of an area in Human Revolution. And so, when you get to the second area that is 2 to 3 times as large as that first area, it's really oh shit, no, this game is going to be a lot more, But anyway, I really like Deus Ex: Mankind Divided. I think people are talking positive, but I feel like they're talking a little bit too negatively about it. I think I don't know. Maybe this is just perfectly curtailed to my taste, but I like it.
I have seen almost nobody talking about this.
Oh, okay.
Like it felt to me like it was out, and I saw a couple of quick videos online, and I feel like I haven't heard anybody talking about it since. And it's only been out like a week and a half.
Like when I was first in Prague, like wandering through the apartments, I mean, like, okay, this is just another example of why people should be talking about it. I know that was a weird, but like, when I was first there, like, I left the apartment and I spent literally 15 minutes in game trying to figure out how the fuck to lock my apartment because the
super handy robot man has like a shredder, going to Shrek an entire room and shred everybody. This thing lives in his chest. He can just shoot it whenever he wants. He's got goddamn sunglasses built into his head, and he can't figure out how to lock his apartment door.
Yeah, he lost his keys.
And you don't need to in game, but it feels like a game where you should lock your apartment.
Get robbed or something. Yeah.
Like, that is the level of detail that world has,
If there's anyone else like you running around, yeah, you goddamn well better lock your apartment.
The first apartment complex, I just saw, like, a bunch of things I couldn't hack. I'm like, oh, I can't get in there. And then later, I was like, oh, wait, I can jump on these ledges and go in through their window. Or, oh, wait, I can go, if I have a lung breather to get past the poison gas, I can go in through the sewers and break some walls down and get there. Like, I've literally been through everyone's fucking apartment.
I think you have an apartment complex. That's what I think.
Apartment phobia.
Complex.
I don't know. Anyway.
Yeah.
Anyway, I better go to the next subject, which is Deus Ex Go. I just wanted to talk about this real briefly. So the Go games are real popular, and yeah, I guess it's an okay way to spend a few minutes, but I don't think these games are for me.
Aren't those Square Enix too? Isn't Square Enix who did Deus Ex?
Yeah.
How's the pricing on the Go games?
$5.
Really?
Yeah.
So they're just insane when it comes to the Final Fantasy stuff. Okay.
So yeah, well, and it's, from my understanding, is it's a company Square Enix doesn't own that keeps going to Square to license their properties.
That makes a ton of sense.
Yeah.
No, you're totally right. Okay.
So the basis of a Go game is you are presented with a level in front of you, and you're presented with a line, and the line is the path your character can travel, and you click on it, and like in Deus Ex, it's you move to this square, and if this guy can see you, he's gonna come beat you up, and you lose. So it's just not that, I don't know. I guess it's an okay way to spend a few minutes, but it's not my type of game. It seems high quality. A lot of people love the Go games. I'm sure this is up there with all the rest of them.
Well, there's been Hitman and Lara Croft and this one, I think another one. And they all look like, kind of like, like sort of a tactics espionage type thing? Or sort of a tactics puzzler sort of thing, where everyone kind of moves together and it's all turn-based and not hex-based, but because they're squares or whatever, but effectively hex-based. And each sort of Go game that the IP it's related to, like it'll work in some mechanics of that IP into that sort of base idea, is what it seems like from everything I've seen on them.
Yeah.
Does that hold up here?
Yeah, I mean, you basically have a square you walk on that will let you hack to open up another square or take over a robot, or there's a little invisibility thing you can grab to turn invisible for, not a square, for a dot for a move. I mean, I don't know. It's not bad. I wouldn't necessarily recommend it, but I'm not a big puzzle game guy either, so, and the puzzles...
It seems like they're very well-made games that you and I just aren't the audience for.
Maybe so. Well, I mean, you were a big Witness fan, weren't you?
I wasn't. Witness got me for about a week, and I haven't touched it since. Partly because I'm scared of the Witness, but also just because I kind of fell into other stuff. But yeah, I'm not a huge puzzle guy. I'm not a huge tactics guy. Every once in a while, something will grab me, like this South Park Fractured But Whole. Has some tactics stuff that I think is going to get me. But generally, it's not my thing. But from the people who I know of who are into that kind of genre, they really like these Go games.
Yeah, I don't. It's not bad, but anyway, let's go to another world, another war.
I have started playing World of Warcraft again. I don't know. I've had a bug up my ass to play this thing for a couple of weeks now, and I had it downloaded, and I was just staring at it, and I saw this coverage on Legion, which I don't own and probably won't be buying. So, mind you, I'm back into World of Warcraft for the new expansion, and I'm not playing that new expansion. Like,
oh no!
I picked up everything through the last one. I think Warlords of Draenor must have been on sale for $5 at some point, because I didn't think I had it. My loot crate, my gaming loot crate this month came with a code that was like, "Hey man, here's every expansion of this game all the way up through Warlords of Draenor." I was like, "Oh, cool. Well, I don't have that one. I'll just use this code." And turns out I couldn't have used the code anyway because it's only for new accounts. But I already had it, so I made a new zombie priest, and I've had him running around, and boy, a lot has changed since I played this game last.
I bet. When was that? When was the last time you played?
I goofed around with Pandaria probably a year and a half after that came out, but not real serious. The last time
2012 was the last time I played.
Was that Wrath of the Lich King?
No, Cataclysm.
Okay.
I think
so
was the most recent.
Wrath was the last time I was really, like, regularly playing, and I goofed around with Cataclysm a little just to see how they changed the world.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know how much is changes that happened because of Cataclysm, where they simplified all the talent trees and all that shit, or if there's more stuff from Pandaria, if there's more stuff from Warlords. Like, there's this garrison system that I just started playing with in Warlords that seems a lot like a free-to-play game you'd get on your phone, where there's all kinds of timed quests that you send people on and stuff, and it's real-time. Like, that's kind of weird, but I just started with those. But what's notable, and actually worth talking about, is I popped in right when they were doing this Legion, the Burning Legion invasion event. I know, it's riveting.
No, sorry.
So there's a couple of zones where if you go on the map, it'll show there's a current invasion happening. They happen pretty fucking regularly. So like, let's say, God, what is that? Terran Mill and South Shore are in that area. Hillsbred, I think it is. Well, it doesn't
so long, dude.
It's one of the zones where before they actually had PvP, like actual like arena PvP, not arena, but the battle zone stuff, like Warsong Gulch and all that.
Right.
That was where the Alliance and the Horde were always just duking it out to just for the fuck of it because hey, these towns are real close to each other. Let's go fight. And Cataclysm made the Horde win that all over. This Alliance are no longer there. So like that's where I was doing the majority of this, and I was like probably level 25, 26. Like I said, I rolled a priest. And there really doesn't seem to be like Shadow used to be the damage spec, and they're all kind of good at damage now. It's weird. So I'm just running around like I'm not burning shit down by myself, So, like, they'll have these demons invade, and you'll have, like, a big bad demon who, the 30 or 40 or 50 or however many people are at the area at that point are all focused on, and maybe he'll summon some ads or whatever. And then once he goes down, that's the end of Phase 1, and whoever the local leader is will, like, send out a message to... And it's an audio message, like it's voice-acted. Goes to everybody in the zone saying, like, hey... these demons are all over the fucking zone, like, go get them. And you'll see a bar on the right, and as the zone kills more of these demons, the bar fills up, and then you have the big bad show up, and, then the event's over, and you get crazy good gear. Like, I was getting item level 55 gear for a level 20-something character, which doesn't sound like a lot, and it's not like it's, the gear a level 55 character would have, but I mean, the stats were 2 and 3 times better than the best thing you could get out of a last boss in a dungeon for that level.
Yeah.
And it scales. So every time I did one of these, whatever level I was, the boots or the hat or whatever scaled to that level and got better and better. And what was cool was the bosses scale too, but they scale individually for every player who's attacking them. So like, when I was level 24 or 25, I'd be attacking this boss, and let's say, I'd be hitting him for 350 damage, let's say, for a spell, and he would hit me back for, 110 or something. When I came back in 4 levels, or more appropriately, when we finished that, 3-wave thing, and I had gained 4 levels from that, because the experience is insane from these things.
Yeah.
I'm not fucking kidding. I went from level 26 to 29 in 15 minutes just because of this.
Those early levels happen a lot quicker than they used to, though.
But even then,
still, that's crazy.
40 minutes maybe. I gained 3 in 15 minutes. So I know this because I got immediate feedback. The bosses, and even, I'm sorry, not the bosses. Well, yes, the bosses, but all the demons scale to your level. So a demon might shoot out like an AoE shadow bolt thing that hits every player in the zone who's close enough. And if there's a level 100 guy standing next to me and I'm level 50, it's going to scale to do level 100 damage to him as though the boss was a level 100. And it's only going to, the same spell will only do a level 50 version to me.
Yeah.
So it was real clever, and it was a smart way to handle. Like, they can't just drop, a level 100 boss in Hillsbrad and just have all the guys who are supposed to be in that zone do basically nothing or just get straight up murderized, and then have these level 100s come in and have all the fun. Like, you can't do that. So this was a real smart way to handle that. So I'm working my way through that. They've changed a ton of the mechanics. I started a shaman again, who I've never gotten one past level 20, and I'm having fun with him. I got my mage, I got the new priest. I love all the stuff they did with the story in Cataclysm, like all the Worgen and the undead interactions in those first 3-4 zones are all great. And I don't know that I'm going to play this for another 2 months, but boy, I'm really having fun going through the old content that I've just been letting build up for a while. It's real fun stuff.
Good. Cool.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm way down with it.
Getting your craft up. So so I do want to get down with the get down. I'll just be quick on this one because I know this isn't necessarily maybe stuff you guys would like to talk about anyway, but the Get Down is a new series on Netflix. They released part 1, which is like 6 or 8 episodes or something, and part 2 is going to come out next year. It is a TV show by Baz Luhrmann, the guy who did Moulin Rouge and the Leonardo DiCaprio Romeo and Juliet movie.
Yeah.
Okay.
Reading some interviews with him, he didn't originally want to be the showrunner for it. He wanted to get someone, because the show is about the origin of hip-hop in the 70s. Well, not necessarily about the origin, but kind of like immediately after the origin. So he wanted someone who was more credible to that scene to do it. But basically he wound up getting all the right people involved, where he got DJ Herc and Grandmaster Flash basically as producers and consultants on the thing. And those are actual characters in the show too. If you're not familiar with them, they were just some of the original DJs back then. A lot of, from what I've read, and I'm not a hip-hop expert, so if you are, you can feel free to write in and tell us the real story. From what I've heard, DJ Herc is the one who kind of invented hip-hop, or at least made it known and popular back in the early 70s. But so the show basically follows some fictional characters who still interact with non-fictional characters.
So it's Forrest Gump for black folks.
Sure.
Okay. That's perfect shorthand. I'm sure that's totally it. Moving on.
I really like the show. I would recommend it if any of that sounds good to you. I think the music's good in it. I think the acting's really spot on. And
Well, if you have Netflix, and this seems like something you'd be interested in, there is no way you could have avoided it. Because Netflix has, like, after I finished a series, has, like, just auto-started playing The Get Down. I'm like, dude, between the fucking ads on everything I watch saying I should watch this thing, and now you're just auto-playing it when I went to the bathroom and came back and I'm watching The Get Down. And now it's in my recently watched list, like, look, I get it. You make a lot of series. You want to try and promote the series. I need a way to, without rating something 1 star, I need a way to go, don't show me this anymore. I'm like, I might even get to it in 3 months, but you've just blanketed me with this thing, and I'm fucking, you've scared me off of it. Like,
See, I wouldn't have heard of it if I hadn't saw one of those forced on trailers. But anyway, so anyway, it's pretty good. It looks like a nuked world in New York because it has kind of a Warriors vibe to it. But
it's a New Yorker world.
You know, it's about the fallout and has the blackout in it and stuff like that. So why don't you raid us into this next subject?
I'm glad I'm the one bringing this up. Because then I will not hurt anyone else's feelings when I say, thank fucking God this is the last time we will have to talk about Fallout 4 for a very long time, if forever.
Is this the last piece of DLC?
They're not doing it anymore?
Nope, Nuka World is it. I mean, it's a year and a half out, so
it's not quite a year old, yeah.
No?
It came out in November last year. Anyway,
because we've been talking about this fucking thing for forever. So I started playing Nuka World, and it's fun so far. I've only played about half an hour. I started up last night when I realized it was out.
Yeah.
And I got on the tram to Nuka World, and it's all the whole thing is they say, well, you get to lead the raiders now. There's these raider gangs you can lead, and the first thing you do when you get to Nuka World is you go through what's called the Gauntlet. Now, I don't know if either of you guys got to that sort of... Everyone calls it, like, the Saw building in Boston.
Oh, I heard about it. I never went to it myself, but...
With the weird mannequins and traps and stuff like that.
Yep.
The Gauntlet is, well, what you'd expect. The first room you go into has 14 turrets that lock on you that you got to take out, and then, you go through a trap section, and then there's a hacking section, and... but you can deal with stuff. It's basically Deus Ex. You can deal with stuff in different ways, like just pitch 12 grenades into the turret room and don't bother hacking anything. So you get through that, and then you get to the boss fight, and it's the leader of the raiders, and you've had this guy helping you, and he says like this guy's this dude, this boss you're fighting. Salud. Is impenetrable with this armor. It's like this electrified power armor looking thing. And he goes, so, I left you a present in one of these lockers. That's like, your staging area before you go into the fight with him. And it's a water gun. And that's how you defuse the shield on this boss, is you literally shoot him with a water pistol.
Oh, wow. That's awesome.
And so, I beat the raider, and this is why I was talking about, like, what is considered a lot of people in Deus Ex. Because you go into this arena, and it's just crowd roaring, just, people banging on the cages, and after you kill the boss and you look around, there's, like, 4 people standing in the windows watching you.
Yeah.
Like, maybe 6 spread over 2 floors. Like, it's a lot of empty space, and it was funny, but, so it turns out the guy who's helping you, was the guy who was, like, organizing the fight and is a raider, so I don't know why he was working against his boss at this point, but when he opened the door, I thought it would be funny to shoot him a lot of times with the water pistol, because water in this universe is really valuable. Like, clean water is super valuable.
Yeah.
And you're literally just pissing it away onto people. So just thematically, I thought it would be funny to shoot this guy with the water pistol, because I had, 1,800 shots for it or something. And he got super pissed and aggroed, and I went, oh shit, and Alt F4'd, and I haven't played it since.
Wow.
So that's as far as I made it in. I might fire it back up tonight when we get done, if I don't end up playing Disc Jam until 1 a.m. again.
Mm-hmm.
Because it is Thursday, and Disc Jam, the servers are up. If you're listening to the podcast, it's already too late, but if you're on the stream, Disc Jam. Pick it up on Steam, free alpha codes. Let's play it.
So real quick, do you mind holding off on this next one till next time?
Totally fine.
Okay, since we're running long. So, okay, well, let's wrap it up. Then, let's see, rate and review us on iTunes. Visit the website, thecarouselpodcast.com. Find us on Twitter, Carousel Podcast. Buy my music, musum.bandcamp.com. Visit my wife's channel where she's been doing occasional little horror game things, which is your Spectre vlog. Randy, where can we find you?
Oh man,
in bed.
Twitter.
Got it.
Napping.
Twitter is at OSU Cobra, and then Gifts of Men on PS4.
Jake, where can we find you?
I'm the other JZ on Twitter. That's JZEE. Randy, I would encourage you not to write a review because clearly we bore you to tears. I believe you said this, John, but in case you didn't, send us tweets, write us emails. We love answering questions from you guys. Come join us in chat. We've had it's been picking up the last couple of episodes, and it's fun talking with you guys here. So yeah, come join us. It's every other Thursday Central Time at 8.
Yep. Awesome. Good call. And catch you guys later.
We miss you, Joey. Never gets old.
So once again, Jake, you're the only one who wrote down titles.
Thanks, assholes.
Damn the rest of us.
Well, Christ, then
Hey, there's one right
read
there.
them.
Okay.
Why don't you two read them?
I'll read them. So, that's the last podcast. A really bland hoax. A second story robot. Permit Tetris. The Chipnotist.
It's a little gauche because I think I said both of these. I like second story robot. That's a very funny concept to me, and I like the Chipnotist.
Chipnotist made you laugh.
It did. It makes me chuckle. I like the Chipnotist.
Chipnotist it is.
Like, I don't know whether I'm
Oh.
picturing a hacker or like a chipmunk.
Oh wow, yeah.
Chipmunk hacker.
What do you got, Randy? Since you were so perfect with the image selection last week, you got any hot takes?
No, not for a chipmunk hacker. There's probably.
Thanks for nothing.
I know. I was worthless today.
Oh, I just meant about the image thing.
Awkward. So,
Yep. Sorry.
I don't know. I'll find a secret squirrel soon. Yeah, Chipnotist it is.
yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
Cool.
Well, thanks for everyone for joining us on the live stream. We really enjoy you guys showing up. And we'll be back in 2 weeks at 8.
Yep.
You're supposed to be recording this, right?
Uh-huh.